All righty. We're ready to rock and roll. We're going to start in a seated position today. No laying down ever again in this class, never. No. We're going to start in a seated position today. We're going to do a class about spinal mobility. So trying to move your lumbar, your thoracic, and your cervical spine. Because at the end of the day, if those don't move, nothing else will move either. So we're going to start by just sitting in an easy seated position. Your spine tall and at ease. If it doesn't feel like it's at ease, find a position that will take it to at ease. Sit up on a block, sit up on a pillow, anything you'd like, but just close your eyes for a moment. Just gently take a scan of your spine. Feel for any areas that feel restricted, tight, or just a little annoyed, and we'll see if we can work through that. Taking a deep breath in through your nose to the bottom of your lungs. With an exhale, let your chin just gently drop toward the chest. So this is your cervical spine, the space between the top of your shoulders and the bottom of your skull. No pinching, no pain, no tingling or numbness down to your arms. Those are all signs that you're pinching a nerve or a structure that doesn't need it. Take a deep inhale, really lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, let your chin drop just a little further. Just let the weight of your head take it down there. You don't have to push it any further. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. It's called lateral flexion. You're gapping all the left-hand side of your neck. You're opening space there, taking pressure off of nerves. If you'd like, you can push your elbow down towards the floor to help anchor that stretch. And then just modify by moving your chin up and down until you feel that gentle spot where it stretches between the ear and the shoulder, without struggle, without strain. Your next exhale, let your head drop back, your chin rises up towards the ceiling. This one particularly, if you're feeling a headachy feeling or nauseous feeling, back out of the pose. It means that you're restricting the blood flow to your brain, and that's generally considered to be a bad idea. Your next exhale, your left ear comes to your left shoulder. You can gently push your right elbow down to anchor the pose if you'd like, and then make that micro adjustment, lifting your chin towards the ceiling or straight ahead. See where you can get to that spot where you can really feel it between the ear and the shoulder. And then gently let your chin drop down to your chest. When you inhale, we're going to bring your up towards the ceiling. Reach your shoulder blades down as your fingers go up. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your right arm behind you in a sailor pose. Bend your left elbow so it comes to rest on the side of your head. And with an exhale, gently let the weight of your arm pull your left ear towards your left shoulder. Make that little micro adjustment, adjust your chin up towards the ceiling a little bit and feel the depth of that stretch. So you're not pulling on your head, you're just letting the weight of your left arm progress this stretch a little bit deeper. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. Breathe into the areas that feel tight or restricted. And as you exhale, allow yourself to melt and release a little bit of tension. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then release the top of your head and let both arms float back up to the ceiling. Lengthen your fingertips reaching up, your shoulder blades pulling down. As you exhale, take it to the opposite side. So your left arm comes behind your back, your right hand comes to the left side of your head, and then the weight of your right arm just gently pulls your right ear towards your right shoulder. You're looking for ease in the cervical spine. No struggles and no strains. Breathe deeply into your belly, exhaling slowly. Bring your awareness to the places that feel tight or restricted, and then imagine that you're breathing into those spaces. You're expanding those spaces with the breath. And then imagine as you exhale, you're releasing some of the tension and the tightness of trying. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, gently release your head, take both arms back up to the ceiling. Lengthen, interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your head. With an inhale, drop your head back, push your elbows to the back of the room. Lift your chin and your chest. As you exhale, round forward, the weight of your arms pulling your chin down, your elbows come together. Push your belly to your spine to release. Inhale it, take it up and back, elbows pushing back, opening that chest, extending the thoracic and the cervical spine. Exhale, rounding forward, elbows together, pushing the air out, flexing the cervical and thoracic spine. One more time, take a deep inhale, take it up. One more time, exhaling, rounding it forward. And straightening your spine, lifting your chin to neutral, and your arms float up to the sky. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, your right hand comes to the floor. Your left hand reaches up and over. Looking up at your arm if it doesn't bother your neck. So you're getting side bending in the thoracic spine, and you're getting rotation in the cervical spine. Push your left hip down into the ground. Keep it grounded there. Don't allow it to lift up. And then pay attention to the deep breath into that left rib cage. Feel it expand with your breath. As you exhale, see if you can walk that right hand out a little further, taking yourself deeper into the pose. Breathing. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring yourself back up to the tall, lengthened spine. Reach to the sky. With the exhale, your left hand comes to the floor. Your right hand reaches up and over. Look up to your arm if it doesn't bother your neck. And then push down into that right hip. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. Feel the rib cage on the right expanding with that breath. You're gently mobilizing that thoracic spine. You're gently adding rotation to the cervical spine. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your arms back up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, fold forward, bringing your hands to the floor, bringing your forehead towards the floor. Just a little rest for the spine. We're getting a little flexion in the lumbar spine, but we're allowing the cervical and thoracic spine to rest here for a moment. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. Feel your belly expand as you inhale. Feel the rib cage expand to the side. As you exhale, melt. Slowly bring your hands to your knees and use your arms to push your spine back up to tall and straight. So we're going to take that rotation a little deeper, inhaling your arms to the ceiling, shoulder blades down your back, lengthen. As you exhale, take your left hand to your right knee, take your right hand behind you, push down into the floor, and lengthen your spine. With an exhale, try to rotate to the right a little bit further if that's available to you. No struggles, no strains. Close your eyes if you'd like for a moment and find the areas of restriction. Be gentle with your spine. Don't try to force it. If it doesn't feel good, back off. Back off to the place where you can find the breath, where you can fill those areas of tightness with that breath. And as you exhale, try to release a little bit of tension. Perhaps going just a little bit further into it if it's available to you. Breathe. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring yourself back to face the front. Inhale the arms to the ceiling, and then we're going to take it to the other side with an exhale. Always try to move with an exhale. Pushing down to the floor with your left hand, turning your head to the left, breathing, creating space by pushing down into that left hand. Breathing deeply, expanding the rib cage. And as you exhale, no struggles, no strains. Breathe. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring it back to the front. We're going to bring your arm straight out in front of you. Take your left hand and turn it away from you. Cross the right over and interlace your fingers. So we're going to go to the thoracolumbar junction, the place where your thoracics meet your lumbar. We're going on a trip. Yay! Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, start to turn to your right. Use that right arm to pull the left one over. So it just moves the rotation down to the middle of your back, where the thoracic spine meets the lumbar spine. Try to see if you can pull it a little bit further with that right arm. No struggles, no strains. Take a deep inhale here, to the other side. Breathe. Feel the areas of tightness and restriction. Be gentle with them. Breathe as if you're expanding those areas with your breath. And then with an exhale, see if you can take it just a little bit further. Brilliant. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bring it back to the front. Take your left arm from underneath and bring it all the way over on the top, interlacing your fingers and taking it to the other side. This just locks out one side of your thoracic spine. Exhale, turning to the right, using that right arm to pull that left one. So we're isolating the rotation here. Breathe. Deep inhales, slow exhales. A deep breath here. As you exhale, take it all the way to the other side. Use that left arm to pull the right arm over. No struggles, no strains. Remember, if it hurts, back out of the pose. Always find an expression in each and every pose that you can hold with ease. Without struggle, without strain. Deep inhale, exhale. See if you can take it a little bit further. Brilliant. And then bring it back to the front. Uncross your wrist, just shake your arms out. Let your neck rotate a little bit. Take a deep inhale, let your arms rise up to the sky, shoulder blades down your back. With an exhale, fold forward. Breathe deeply into your belly, exhaling slowly. Fill your belly with air, feel it expand, and with an exhale, walk your chest over to your left leg. So just fold forward over that left leg. So you can take your right arm and reach just a little bit further than your left arm will go and feel that stretch along the right rib cage. Make sure that right hip doesn't lift up off the ground. Gently push it down. Even if that means backing out of the pose a little bit, you want to create that anchor. From your hip bone through your fingers, you can feel that stretching. Your serratus anterior, your latissimus dorsi, and God forbid, your quadratus lumborum. Breathe. Exhale slowly. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, come back to the center. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. Take a deep inhale. Move with your exhale over to the right leg, folding over it, reaching your left arm a little bit past your right, pushing down into that left hip to anchor your pose, breathing into that left rib cage. No struggles and no strains. Remember, if it hurts, back out of it or just skip the pose altogether. Breathe. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, come back to the center. Folding forward, really just falling into your pose. One more deep inhale. With an exhale, walk your hands back to your knees and use your arms to help push you back up to an easy seated position. So just let your hands come to rest on your knees. We're going to begin to circle your shoulders around. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with the top of your head, but you're moving your body to get there, the whole body. Just circling around, making whatever is comfortable in the lower spine. You're moving your L5 on your S1. That's the very last spinal process. It's where most of us have issues if we have back pain. And breathe. And then take a circle in the opposite direction. Link that circle to your breath. Try to inhale up one side of the circle and exhale down the opposite side of the circle. Breathe. Beautiful. One more full circle, and then just bring your spine back to tall and even and straight. We're going to grab the big toe of your left foot with the first two fingers of your left hand, or use your strap. And with an exhale, we're going to straighten that leg out to the side. So just opening up your hamstrings a little bit, lift your spine and elongate. So if you're rounded forward, try to sit up on a block or use a strap around the bottom of your leg, or just hold your leg behind the knee. Find a way of creating the stretch without creating the strain. And then bend that knee and bring it to the floor. The big toe side of your left foot on the floor. Your right foot is rested on your left thigh. And with an exhale, you turn towards your right, pushing down into the floor with both hands. So this is a deep stretch of your lumbar spine. Your hips are locked because of the way you have your feet. So don't push this into pain. Take a deep inhale here. Either stay right where you are, or with an exhale, come down to your elbows. If coming down to your elbows is too far of a reach for you and arms straight doesn't feel like enough, take a block or a pillow. Put it on the floor and bring your elbows to that block or pillow, a medium place. Stay right where you are, or with an exhale, come all the way down to your chest and breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. As you exhale, stay where you are or reach your right hand behind you for your ankle to complete the pose. No struggles, no strain. Always try to find an expression of the pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. And then breathe, bringing your attention to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the stretch. Take one more really deep breath so that you feel it enter your nose down to the bottom of your lungs, expanding that rib cage. And then pay attention as you exhale. Feel the ease coming to the muscles as you release trying and effort. If you're holding on to that foot, go ahead and release it, and then slowly begin to bring yourself back up, bringing the bottoms of your feet together for a cobbler's pose. So again, this is one you can sit up on a block or sit up on a pillow. If it feels like your back is rounded, or if it feels like effort, just grab a block and sit up on it. It takes all the effort out of it. It allows your spine to be at ease. You can also slide your feet further away from you, opening up that diamond shape. The next goal is to try and bring your knees all the way down to the floor. If they don't get there, that's fine. Just let your hands rest on there and gently let the weight of your arms add pressure to it. This is locking your hips so that when we bend forward, you're getting a pure flexion at that L5S1. Stay where you are or begin to bend forward. So this is really isolating the forward flexion to one or two little vertebrae. So if it doesn't feel right, allow yourself to back out of it. And breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. Exhale. Don't push yourself. Find an expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. And breathe. It's a really good stretch to the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. One more deep inhale here. Lengthen your spine as if you're reaching out through the top of your head to create space to allow you to fold further forward if it's available. If you're folded forward, gently bring yourself back up. Taking a deep inhale right where you are, let your arms rise up to the ceiling. As you exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand to the floor behind you. Tricky. We haven't done this one in a while, or maybe ever. Breathe. So again, you're isolating to one or two vertebrae by the way you have your legs. So if this hurts, back off. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe into the places that you feel tight or restricted. With an exhale, gently bring yourself deeper into the pose, or just stay where you are, releasing a little bit of the tension, releasing a little bit of the effort. And then slowly bring yourself back towards the front. Inhaling your arms to the ceiling, lengthen. As you exhale, take it to the opposite side. Just push down into the floor with that back hand to try and give yourself space. As you exhale, see if you can round a little bit further. No struggle and no strain. Breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and really feel the last breath deep into your belly, lengthening your spine. Make that breath purposeful. And then make the exhale mindful. Feel the breath as it exhales. Feel the tension as it eases. And then bring yourself back to the front. So we're going to take it to the opposite side. Let's go right side. So first two fingers of your right hand wrapped around your big toe, or use the strap, and as you exhale, straighten that leg out. Take a moment to look at your spine or feel your spine. Is it straight? Is it at ease? If it's not, alter what you're doing. Use a strap. Try to take that up. Look at your shoulder. Make sure that you're not pulling your shoulder up to your ear. You're causing a whole nother problem if you do that. And then take it to the side. The big toe of your right foot down to the floor, the left foot resting on the right thigh, and with an exhale, turning towards your left, pushing down into your arms to create space. As you exhale, stay right where you are, just enjoying the stretch as it is, or come down to your elbows. Remember, you can put a block or a pillow there as a transition between straight arms and down on your elbows if that feels like it's too much. With an exhale, stay here or bring your chest all the way to the floor. No struggles and no strains. Stay here, or with an exhale, reach your left hand behind you, grabbing onto your ankle, pulling that foot up towards the shoulder, opening that pose. Breathing into that right rib cage, feel it expand. As you exhale, releasing tension or trying. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. One more deep breath here. Really see if you can pay attention to the feeling and the sensation of that breath as it enters, expanding the rib cage, and as it exits, creating ease. Then if you've been holding onto that foot, go ahead and release it. Slowly bring your arms back towards you, slowly pushing yourself up back into that cobbler's pose. Breathing, lengthening, exhaling, folding forward. With ease. Imagine the breath is lengthening your spine. You're reaching out through the top of your head. You're slowly folding forward to whatever's available to you. You're gently pushing those knees down to the floor. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly begin to unwind. So we're going to come onto your hands and knees. If you have a knee problem and it feels difficult to kneel, we have foam bars over there. You can grab a foam bar to put underneath your knee, or you can just fold your mat so that your mat has a double thickness on it. Make sure that you're at ease. The same goes for your wrists. If your wrists are uncomfortable, use one of those foam bars to let your fingers drape over, or make a fist so that your wrists aren't bent at all. Yeah, there's a couple of them over there. Brilliant. So you can also use it for your wrist, or use a block. If your wrists hurt, just let your fingers drape over the front of a block. It takes a lot of the stress out of those wrists. So let's start by just opening up the wrists. Spread your fingers, have them pointing straight ahead. Turn the creases of your elbows forward, and then turn the creases of your elbows back. This is a great way to start to relieve tension or stress in your elbows, just rotating them forward, rotating them back. I meant stress or disease in your wrists, not your elbows. Back and forth. It will help with the elbows, but this is a really great mobilization or self-mobilization for the wrists. One more time, take the creases of your elbows forward and then hold them there. Cat and cow is really good for moving your entire spine through its fullest range of motion. I like to do these at night before bed to loosen the spine. So as you inhale, let your belly drop, lift your chin, look up to the ceiling. Fill your belly with air. As you exhale, round it. Pull your chin to your chest. Separate your shoulder blades like an angry cat. Your belly pushes into the spine. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Follow your own breath. Inhaling as you let your belly drop, your chin rises, your eyes look up. Exhale. Take it back to cow. So cat to cow moves every vertebrae from your tailbone to the top of your head. It's a really good way to make sure that they stay mobile. We sit in chairs all day long and our spine doesn't move in any direction. This is a really good way to bring health and ease to the spine. Let's go one more full cat and cow following your own breath, and then we'll come to tabletop. The back just flat. So in the flattened back, tabletop, make sure the creases of your elbows are turned forward. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, your belly comes to your spine, your right arm and your left leg rise in opposite directions. Look forward to your right hand. Keep the crease of that left elbow turned forward, and that'll stabilize your shoulder. See if you can take a deep inhale, raising that right arm up. As you exhale, bring the elbow and the knee underneath to meet. Pull the belly in, round your spine. Inhale, reach them out. Exhale, bring them under. Inhale, reach them out. Exhale, bring them under. One more time here. Inhale, reach them out. You have the option of staying right there or reach behind you, grabbing your left ankle with your right hand. Push the foot into the hand and do the arch back and up. You're just taking your spine in an extended position. Release it, and then bring the right hand and the left knee down. Let's just take a little child's pose and rest from that. If it feels like that's too much for your knees, put a pillow between your thighs and your calves, or just sit down, pull your knees into your chest. If you want to progress your pose, separate your knees and let your chest come all the way down to the floor. Child's pose is a resting pose, but it also is a nice stretch for your lumbar and thoracic spine, rounding it. So breathe into your belly, expanding it. Feel the rib cage. Move out to the side and to the rear. And as you exhale, melt. And then we're going to take it to the opposite side. So let's push up. Hands below your shoulders, hips below your knees. Take creases of your elbows forward for stabilization of your shoulder. Take a deep inhale. With the exhale, your belly comes to the spine to protect your back. Your left arm and your right leg rise out in opposite directions. Look forward to the left arm. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, bring it underneath you. Round your spine, chin to the chest, knee to the elbow. Inhale it, take it out. Exhale it, bring it under, round. Inhale, take it out. Exhale, bring it under. Inhale, take it out and hold it there, or bend the right knee, reach behind you with your left hand, grabbing onto the ankle, kicking that foot into the hand to help you arch up and back. And then release, bringing your hand and your knee down to the floor. Let's take another child's pose. Breathing. Take a child's pose anytime. If a pose is not appropriate for you, don't worry about whether the person next to you can do it or not. There's a saying in yoga, it says to stay on your own mat. And that saying is just a kind way of saying mind your own business. Don't worry about the person in front of you. It's really your exploration of your body and your movement. In this child's pose, breathe deeply into your lungs. Feel the expansion of your rib cage. As you exhale, just melt into your child's pose. Breathing deeply. Exhaling slowly. And then slowly bring your arms around to the front. Slowly push up onto all fours. We're going to curl your toes under. Bring your hands back towards your knees and try to push up into a forward fold. So in the forward fold, you're getting deep flexion of your spine. If it feels like pain, tingling, or numbness, just have a soft bend in your knees. Not a huge bend, just let the knees be soft. Try to push back into the knees. If you don't have any pain, get those legs as straight as you can. And then try to lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Breathe. No struggles, no strains. Breathing deeply, exhaling slowly. Slowly bend your knees. Let your chest come to rest on your knees. Bring your arms up into chair pose. So chair pose is one that really strengthens around the spine. You're reaching your butt back behind you. You want to make sure that if you look down, you can see your toes in front of your knees. Pull your belly into your spine, and then pull your shoulder blades down. Breathe. Look between your hands and just feel the strength of the pose. No struggles, no strains. Straightening your knees, take your arms to the sky, arch back. Small extension of your lumbar spine. Exhale, fold forward. Just to a forward fold. Breathe. Push the back of your knees to the back of the room. Lift your sit bones towards the sky. We're just letting the spine relax here. Small bend in your knees, taking it back to chair pose. Your arms come up, shoulder blades down, belly to the spine. Check that you can see your toes in front of your knees. Stay here or take your hands into prayer, your right elbow to your left knee, pushing in and rotating towards your left. Look down at your right knee. Make sure it hasn't pushed out in front of your left. The knees should be in perfect alignment. You don't have to take this twist. You can just maintain the regular chair pose. Breathe. And then take it back up to chair, straightening the legs, small arching back, swan dive forward. Remember, a bend in your knees if you have any pain in your back. Just hanging out here. If it feels like struggle or strain to reach the floor, use your block. Have a block right there in front of you. Support your weight with that. Try to push the back of your knees to the room behind you. Small bend in your knees, taking it back up to chair. Shoulder blades come down your back. Breathe. Belly to the spine, hands to heart center, or stay right where you are. Take your left elbow to your right knee, push into your hands to rotate towards the right. And then pull your left knee back in line with your right knee. So we're really locking into that rotation through the lumbar and thoracic spine and the cervical spine. No struggles and no strains. Take it back to chair. Take it back to tall, standing, small, arching back. Exhaling, rounding forward to a forward fold. Use your block if your fingers aren't touching the floor or if it feels like struggle or strain. You can turn that block on any level that you like so you can support yourself in a pose. Close your eyes for a moment and really push the back of your knees to the room behind you if that doesn't cause pain. Think about rotating those sit bones up towards the sky for a micro adjustment. And then we'll all take a small bend in our knees. We'll all come up to a straight, tall position. So we're going to do the warrior series in a minute. That's the most ultimate way of moving your spine. It moves your spine in every direction, but it also does it with strength. But we're going to take a mountain pose first. So mountain pose is about strengthening your spine and the whole body through stabilization and tightening of what's called your postural muscles. Postural muscles are muscles that keep you standing up. You don't think about them, and that's the key. You don't think about them. When we sit in a chair, we don't use them because the chair is supporting us. We slump in the back, so those postural muscles become weak. Stepping your feet together so your big toes touch and your heels touch. Turn the palms of your hands forward. So the first thing you want to do is pay attention to the floor where your feet touch. The big toe, the little toe, and the heel all have equal weight on them. So if you feel yourself leaned forward into your toes, Bring your shoulders back just slightly and see if you can even out that weight between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Then take your thighs and try to rotate them in towards each other. Feel the strength it takes just to hold those muscles, rotating those thighs in. That's a lot of work. Then pull your belly into your spine, and then see if you can pull it up as if you were tucking it underneath of your rib cage. As you inhale, your shoulders come up to your ears. As you exhale, bring them back and down together, lifting your chest towards the sky, and then close your eyes to make it a balance pose if you'd like, or keep them open. It's perfectly fine. Once you're in full mountain pose, go back down and check into those spaces. Check into the equal weight between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Check in that you have those thighs still gently rotated in towards each other. Check in that you have your shoulder blades gently down and together. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. This is strengthening the muscles around your spine, and it's a really good thing to do. Keeping those spinal postural muscles strong will serve you through years, especially if the majority of your time is spent sitting in a chair, not using them. I suggest when people sit in a chair, they perch at the edge of the chair as opposed to sit back into it. It helps you develop the endurance around those spinal muscles. Opening your eyes, we're going to prepare for the Warrior series. Yay! Come on, yay! Bring your hands into heart center. Walk to the front of your mat. So spread the toes apart. So what we're going to do is stand on that right leg. So really make that right leg tall and strong. We're going to inhale your left knee up. Try to keep your left hip level with the right. So you're not lifting your left hip. You're lifting the left knee. Squeeze that the right leg tight. Take your left leg back behind you and plant it on the floor. You want your left toes turned out about 15 degrees, a small bend in your right knee. And then we're going to take your arms towards the sky. Shoulder blades are down and together. We're going to loosen up that right knee first by taking a deep inhale. With an exhale, straighten the right knee and then bend it. Exhale, straighten the right knee and bend it. One more time, straightening it on an exhale, bending it, finding the depth that feels good for your right knee. So if you want to go down deep, that's great, but don't get your toes way out in front of your knee. Walk your foot out further so that you can take the knee, you glance down, you can see your toes past the front, and then take your gaze between your hands. Your left back leg is straight. Squeeze it strong. Warrior one. So in Warrior one, we're doing a little bit of extension of the spine. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, take your right arm forward, your left arm back. Turn the palms up. Now try to keep the creases of your elbows straight up and just turn your hands down. That locks your arms into a stable position. We have a little bit of lumbar rotation. Reach in opposite directions with your fingers to create space. And with an exhale, take your left hand back, take your right arm up. Look up at your arm if it doesn't bother your neck. So you've got side bending through the right spine. You've got cervical rotation and extension. You're breathing into that right rib cage, expanding it. With an exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee. Take your left arm up and over. Then try to turn that left shoulder back so that your chest is facing the room in front of you, not towards the floor. You're stretching between your fingertips and that little toe as it's planted on the ground. Getting lumbar flexion in the opposite direction, expansion through that rib cage. Take it back to Warrior two. Take it back to Warrior one. You can stay here in Warrior one or take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, lift your chin and your chest, extension, fold forward for flexion of the spine. Breathe. Stay here or lift your arms up off of your hips just for fun. And then take it back to Warrior one. Bring your hands into heart center. Try to go one step gracefully, bringing your left foot to meet your right. Such grace. Love it. Now we're going to do the exact same series in the opposite side. So spread the toes of your left foot out wide. Gives you a big wide base of support. Gently bring your right knee up. Try to keep your right hip down. If you lose your balance, that's okay. Your body is learning. Shoot your right leg back. Turn the foot out 15 degrees. Small bend in your left knee. Straightening that right leg out as best you can. Take your arms to the sky. Now just glance down. Make sure you can see your toes right in front of your knee. If you can't, walk your foot out a little bit and then find the depth of your knee bend. Inhale, straighten that knee. Exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten the left knee. Exhale, bend it. One more time, straightening that left knee. One more time, bending it and breathing. Breathe deep into your belly, a small extension of your spine. So look up and between your hands. You're extending your lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine. Take it to warrior two. Creases of your elbows up, palms facing down, reaching in opposite directions. Breathing. Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, your right hand comes back, your left hand comes up. Looking up at your arm if that doesn't bother your neck. Breathing deeply into that left rib cage. Feel the expansion. With an exhale, left elbow to left knee, right arm reaches up and over. Then turn your chest to face the wall in front of you. No struggles and no strains. Feel the stretch. As you breathe, your finger reaches to where the wall meets the ceiling. You feel that stretch. Breathe. Take it back to warrior two. Take it back to warrior one. Stay here or interlace your fingers, taking your extension a little bit deeper. And with the exhale, folding forward over your left knee. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. Stay here or lift your arms from your hips. And then drop them down and bring them up into warrior one. Hands to heart center. Step your left foot to meet your right. Brilliant. Now 3 more times on each side and we are good. For the second half of our class today, can you imagine? Now, let's walk your hands together. Let's just get a little side bend throughout the full spine. So taking a deep inhale, your arms rise up to the ceiling. Stay here or lift your heels from the floor. Lower your heels to the floor. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, and as you exhale, bend over towards your right. You can look up at your arm if that doesn't bother your neck to add rotation to the cervical spine. Breathe. Breathe into that left rib cage. And then release back to the ceiling. Stay here or lift up onto your toes, lifting your heels from the floor, just getting a little lengthening, and then lower those heels. Left hand grabs the right wrist, bending over towards your left, turning your head to look up at your spine if it doesn't bother your neck, and breathe. No struggles, no strains. And then bring it back. Taking your hands down to heart center, we're going to go to the floor, but we're going to do it through squat. So separate your feet a little wider than hip length. If it feels like your knees are not right for this, just go ahead down to the floor. Bend your knees and bring your elbows to between your knees. You can also use the block to help support your pose. So if this feels like it's too much for your knees, put the block underneath of you so that you can set your butt on it, and then you have your elbows there. Try to lift your spine and straighten it. So you're trying to keep your spine from rounding. The goal is to eventually get it all the way up. That was graceful. And breathe. Pushing your knees apart with your elbows. Don't worry about if this pose isn't right for you. Not every pose is right for everyone. We'll lose a couple more people here with the crow. Take your hands to the floor, spread your fingers wide, small bend in your elbows for your knees to rest upon. Some people like to take their knees and place it right into their armpits. I find that extremely uncomfortable. And then lift your feet. Remember, you can use the block in this one as well. Put the block out in front of you. Let your forehead come to rest on the block, and then lift your feet. So you have 3 points of weight bearing. And then if you want to practice, lift your head from the block. Find an expression of each and every pose you can hold with ease. Bring it forward.
Support your head on that block and then lift one foot or both into the full crow. Slowly release your crow. Bring your butt to the floor. And let's lie it down onto our backs. Breathing. Keeping your knees bent, your feet flat. Just close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, draw both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Just gently hug them into your chest with your shoulders relaxed and your jaw relaxed. Breathe. Breathe into your rib cage. Feel it expand. Feel the belly pressing into your thigh. If you'd like, you can just rock side to side here a little bit. Beautiful. Now we're going to just hold those knees in your chest, but hold them both with your right hand. Release your left arm out to the side like half of the letter T. And with an exhale, bring both knees over to the right. So you want to keep those knees bent up towards your chest at about the level of where your belt would be. If your knees aren't touching each other, don't worry about it, but just place your right hand on top of your left knee and gently encourage that left knee down towards your right to be stacked and touching. If you'd like, you can turn your head to the left to look at your left arm. This is another great way of doing a rotational stretch through the spine. Before you go to bed at night is a really good time to do this. Before you get out of bed in the morning, another great time to waken those spinal muscles up. You're also helping the discs to rehydrate. Your discs are what are known as hydrostatic systems. That means that fluid flows in and out of them. This is a way of getting that fluid out, and when you return back to neutral, the fluid is pulled back in, so you're refreshing the supply. Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, come onto your back, your knees floating up to the ceiling, and then all the way over to the left. Take your left hand and let it rest on top of your right knee. Turn your head to look at your right arm if it doesn't bother your neck. So just think about the last day that you had. How long did you sit still and not move your spine through any range of motion except maybe bending forward to tie your shoes? How often did you twist besides pulling on a seatbelt or turning to look over your head to change lanes in traffic? Our spines are designed and meant for movement and mobility. They start to break down in their function and their feeling as we keep them from moving. Take a deep inhale to your belly. As you exhale, let yourself come to a flat back, your knees pointing straight up to the ceiling, and then drop your feet down to the floor. And then straighten one leg at a time down to the floor, and we'll prepare for final relaxation. So in final relaxation, you want to find a position of comfort and ease that allows your spine to feel good. If you'd like something underneath of your knees, just bend your knees, and I can bring you a ball or a pillow to support your back. It's a decompressive position for your back, which means it takes space. It gives space to the spine, not takes space. It gives space to the spine. Would you like a ball? Yeah. I have them right here. So find a position of ease for your spine. Do you want a ball, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. I'll get it for you. There you go. So this is a really good position to stay in if you have back pain, or if you've been doing a lot of running or jogging or sitting on a plane, a car ride. It takes your spinal processes and it separates them. It takes pressure off the discs and off the nerves. So just lying at 90 degrees, breathing deeply into your belly, and exhale slowly. Exhaling slowly. Breathing in through your nose. Imagine that you're pulling energy in through your nose, and see if you can imagine that energy being pulled down your spine all the way to the very base, down to the coccyx, those last little bones at the bottom of your sacrum. As you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in an energy that's healing and restorative, that's bringing ease to the spine. Keep that visualization of drawing energy in through the breath down into the spine. Imagine it revitalizing each of the discs, each of the muscles that surround the spine. Imagine that each breath is bringing ease, it's bringing healing. It's soothing the central nervous system. Your nerves tell your muscles what to do. Your muscles tell your bones what to do. So bringing energy or attention to the breath in those areas has a profound effect on the entire body. Breathing deeply into the very bottom of your lungs is energizing. It's diaphragmatic breath. It's helping to bring oxygen to the blood. The blood delivers the oxygen to the muscles. When you breathe deeply, you're bringing the muscles everything that they need and want for optimal performance. Keep your attention focused on that breath. Feel the sensations of the breath as it enters in through the nose. Feel the sensations of the breath as it exits, feeling warmed from your body. If your mind wanders from the breath, just gently bring it back without judgment. Without a story. Now, your next breath, what I want you to try and do is imagine that you're pulling the air in through the fingertips of your right arm and up that arm and back to the spine. Just an imagination. Don't worry if it's a practical thing. Just imagine the breath, the energy is being drawn in through that right arm, up to the shoulder and connecting to the spine. Feel the ease of those muscles as they soften. And then imagine the breath being drawn up through the left arm, right through the fingertips, across the palm, into the forearm and shoulder, connecting to the spine. Now imagine that your next breath is being drawn in through your right leg, through the toes, across the foot, the ankle, the thigh, into the hips and into the spine. See if you can imagine the feeling of that energy just soothing and revitalizing the muscles as it passes along. And then imagine that breath being drawn in through the left, pulling in through the toes, across the ankles and the calves, the thigh, the hip, connecting to your spine. The breath, healing, and bringing ease. And then see if you can visualize that breath being pulled in through your arms, your legs, in through the nose, all converging at the spine, energizing it with the breath.
connecting your limbs to your spine through the breath. Make the sensations of the breath and that visualization everything that you focus on for this moment. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back, without judgment or a story, to the breath. And then just release your breath in that visualization and let your mind come to stillness. Any thoughts, internal dialogue, or judgments, just let them go. Notice them, but don't attach to them. Become the observer of your mind. Notice where it wants to go, to the future or to the past, to judgments or distractions. Notice it. Observe it. But don't let it become a story. Don't let it become an attachment. And then we'll slowly start to bring your attention back to the room, back to your bodies by just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the motion in those small joints. And then spread your fingers apart, spread your toes apart, and feel the space between the fingers. Feel the space between the toes. Not a space that we ever bring attention to. Then curl your fingers into a fist, curl your toes under. Feel the stretch of the skin over your knuckles. Feel the stretch of the skin over your feet. And then let your hands and your feet rest. Take a deep inhale. Let your shoulders draw up towards your ears. As you exhale, slide your arms down the mat as if you were trying to touch the bottom of it, and just feel that gentle stretch between your shoulders and your neck. And let your shoulders relax. Let your head gently begin to rock from side to side. Feel the motion of your neck. And then let your head come to rest wherever it finds itself comfortable. Take a deep inhale to the bottom of your lungs. Let your arms rise up to the ceiling. As you exhale, let them fall to the floor behind you. Take a lengthening stretch. Reach your fingertips back and feel the spine just lengthening. Sometimes you'll feel pops or cracks, snaps. You're not Rice Krispies. You're just dry. Take a deep inhale there, reach back, and as you exhale, draw your knees to your chest one at a time. Hold on to them with your hands, drawing them into your chest. Let your shoulders relax, let your jaw relax. You can begin to rock from side to side if you'd like, just waking up the muscles around your spine by massaging them on the floor with that rocking motion. And then when you're ready, roll onto your right side, lying in a fetal position, your knees gently drawn up towards your chest. Support your head with your hands made into a pillow or use your block. And then bring your focus and attention back to one more deep inhale to the bottom of your lungs and one more slow exhale. And then gently, when you're ready, push yourself up to an easy seated position. A position where your spine is at ease, where you have equal weight on your sit bones. If that means sitting up a block, sitting up a pillow, or sitting up on a chair, that's perfectly fine. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. Lengthen your spine and bring your awareness to it. Perhaps it feels more alive or more at ease after we've moved it through all of its ranges of motion. Take another deep inhale, lengthen your spine. With an exhale, bring your hands into heart center in prayer position, your thumbs gently against your chest. Let your chin drop down. You guys have done a wonderful job once again. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Again, I am having a free seminar on March 26th for people with foot pain, whether it's tendonitis or plantar fasciitis or neuropathy. It's free. It's just an hour talking about strategies that you can use at home to manage or alleviate your own foot pain. If you know anybody that's interested, just have them call and put their name on our list. But it's free. And if it's free, it's for me.
What's the date?
March 26th from 11 to 12. Yes.
When I'm in Colorado.
Well, you can. Well, I was going to say, I'm not filming it.
So.
And I have foot pain, damn it. Well, we're going to try to start having some more of these seminars for different things. It's very expensive to do physical therapy. So we're trying to do some outreach where we can teach people things to do, little strategies. Foot pain is one that it plagues a lot of people. In fact, I started this because on Facebook, one of my friends wrote about having plantar fasciitis, and he had like 30 different people say, "Oh, me too," and I can't get rid of it. I said, that's what we do. So it doesn't have to be, oh, come and go to physical therapy, but I can show you ways to do things at home to at least manage it. It's Saturday, March 26th. It's going to be 11 to 12. So, right after yoga. Excellent.